One of the more fun things to do in KVK is altar fights, and we have just finished our Altar of Darkness fight. I'm going to be showing you some video from that fight and talking about how the fight ended up in this video, so stick around. What's up everybody, Psycho here with another Rise of Kingdoms video. We just finished our Altar of Darkness, our first Altar of Darkness in this KVK, and as you can see, our coalition won the Altar of Darkness. There are just about 3 minutes left of time sitting here in the Altar of Darkness. Our opponents have disconnected, they're no longer pushing out. We fought, realistically it didn't last very long. There was some scrumming around after the altar opened, or they were still sort of trying to push on, but we captured it very quickly. And had a very successful altar fight. All told, I'm going to give you some numbers here, and I'll show you my hospital. Let me jump over to my hospital. I haven't healed down my hospital at all, so I just kept it going here so we could see. We had about 100, almost 160,000 sev wounds in the hospital. My opponents, all told, I did the tally here. It looks like 1 million, just a little over 1 million, about 1,016,000 total kills for me. That's about 560,000 T5 and 455,000 T4. Did a little bit more of the math here. It cost me, as you can see, those are the resource costs for me. I did similar calculations where I could sort of compare mine to my opponents, and those are about 4 to 1 in terms of the resource costs that I inflicted upon my opponents in this one. So, and just in terms of the total number of wounded troops that they have, T4 and T5. So a very successful Ruins fight. Again, I'll show you some clips of how that went here, and then I'll maybe even show you some battle reports from those. So let me first start by jumping in and showing you the clip so you can check that out now.
All right, you can see the enemy camp has already occupied the ruins. I have quite a few marches there, and we are marching. All of our marches are coming down to start our own murder ball. I think I zoom out here and maybe get a better picture of what's going on. Yeah, there we go. So here come all of our marches. Got many more coming. And that's what the enemy has on the ruins right now, and they've got a few more coming in. We're here at the pass. So this is just us getting started. And once we get enough people in the ball, typically you would wait for a king skill, but I think once we get here, we sort of decide, you know what, let's just make it happen. A lot of people still coming, but we already kind of have the numbers here. Here we go. War Frenzy engaged. I zoom out to dot mode. Already killed one march. And I sort of zoom in and out of dot mode. I did a lot of the fighting in this sort of dot mode. There's the king skill. Just because especially when the king skills get going, you see all this oranges and reds, they all bleed together, and it's really, really hard to see a target. I just found that getting in dot mode was just a lot easier. And again, like I mentioned in one of my previous videos, in this, when you have a lot of marches together, this dot mode just makes it a lot easier to control where your marches are going. The downside is you can't tell where your skill cycle is. You can't see your rage meter, so you don't know, are you about to fire off your skill? Do you want to stay in a little bit longer? See here, as I zoom in, I can't even see my march at all. I don't know where my march is. There it is. It's retreating. I was getting super far from the action. That's kind of frustrating. Again, with dot mode, it's just a lot easier to control where you are. But again, trying to target marches that you want to target, like you want to target the XYs, you want to target Guan Yu's probably. Certainly, if they're bringing things like Ethelfleds, I mean, there's certain marches that you really want to focus down and target, and you don't want to really target Attilas, you don't really want to target Bacals, but you can't tell what they have in dot mode, so you're just sort of targeting any dot that's nearby. Again, here's a situation where I'm struggling to even get my march moving to attack anything. And I'm often looking up there at the top right just to see if I'm engaged. So you can see the top right means you're fighting, you're doing something. So there we go. And again, the typical way for me to go is just to try to stay engaged until you see that until you see the victory sign come up, or your march run away. Here I'm trying to use a more of a target approach where I can target the march that I want to hit. And you can see that we're already overwhelming them. So as I mentioned in my video, or in the start of this video, that the whole fight didn't take too long here. You see we're just smashing that Saladin YSG. And more targets have disappeared than I can even target. And at this point, it's actually hard to find a target just because there are no targets left on the ruins. So here we start pushing off the ruins. The ruins don't open for like another hour. You can see at the top there, I've already gotten all 5 of the enemy elimination event achievements in just a few minutes. So it doesn't take very long to get those. Back engaged here, firing off the skills. Trying to find a target. But the targets are going down so fast, it's just even hard to find anything. You can see we just have overwhelming numbers here. Yeah, that march wasn't even there. Continuing to push out. I'm trying to target that dot, but maybe that's a scout? I don't know. It's an Attila Takeda. This is pretty much how the fight went. After we get all the way up to their gate here, we actually just retreated back to that choke point. They balled back up, they came back out, we smashed them, they went back to the gate, and we did that 2 or 3 times, and then the ruin opened up finally, and at that point we just sort of fought around on the ruin, or the altar rather. I won't show too many clips of that because it's just very boring. It's just us hitting the trying to hit some of the stalkers and just smashing them just on the edge of the ruin after we had already captured it. So it wasn't a lot there. And then eventually they closed off their pass so that no more of their marches would come out. And yeah, that's the clip that you saw right at the start of this video, was us finishing up, just waiting on the ruins. Or again, I mean the altar. Okay, here I'm actually getting targeted, which was pretty unusual at this point. just really a wave of blue marches with king skills pop, just smashing through here. Again, you can see that there are just so few targets. It's just hard to even pick up kills. Yeah. And as I said, that was kind of it. We pushed them back to the pass, and we just went back to the altar. Yeah, as you can see here, there's the enemy elimination points. Pick those up. I ended up finishing in the top 100 in that event somehow, despite the minimal amount of fighting. You can just see that there's just no targets here. So eventually, like I said, we rolled it back to that choke point and finished up there. Yeah, you can see there's still another hour until it even opens. So, and you know, I'm basically 90-something% health even after that little bit of fighting. So again, not the most exciting altar fight in the world, but it was a win nonetheless. I think I pull up a few battle reports here. Yeah, you can see some decent trades here, but I'll have more battle reports here at the end of this video. Yeah. So pretty good trades. I mean, 1,000 to almost 16,000, 2,000 to 18,000. Those are pretty good trades. 1,000 to 15,000. It has some T4 in it. There's some AoE kills. Just yeah. That's T4 there. Yeah. XY Nevsky is just so powerful. 1,600 to 17. I mean, and that was T5 even. You get 10-1 trades against T5. And that's T4 there. It's like 18, 19 to 1. It's pretty good. So there were 17 total fights, and that was it. And that was the end of ruins. Now I'll jump over to the end of the video.
All right, hope everybody enjoyed those clips. Look, we completed a few of the tasks, the Crusader achievement task while we were here. In the Chronicles, there is an achievement for defeating three Darkstalkers, which we were able to do. There's also some achievements for occupying ruins and altars. You can see we're up to 8.5 million kills. Again, that's about 1 million more kills than I had before this opened up. But we've now occupied the ruins and altars for about 441 minutes. We do have ruins here coming up, which is another free occupation for another 60 minutes. So I should have around 500 minutes of that occupied, getting closer and closer to that 800 total you want to shoot for. I can show you a little bit about the marches that I was using. I really only used 2 marches. Here at the very end, I did use, and I'm going to head and send my troops home here. 6 seconds left. I did use Nebu and YSG, which is a brand new march for me, and it was very strong. Just the AoE damage is really quite good. I'll show you a report here. I think I saved it. Yeah, so here's one of the reports from Nebu YSG. In this case, hitting what looks like to be a T5, mostly T5, but some T4 in there as well. Richard and Leonidas, a very tanky march, obviously. We did quite a bit of damage to that one, but then here's the really surprising one. This is a full T5 march that was just standing nearby and got hit with the AoE. Again, all T5 special unit troops. If we go and take a look at the battle log, you can see that it got hit by Nebuchadnezzar's AoE, and then it got hit by YSG's AoE, taking a lot of Seb, 10,000 T5 Seb wounds just by standing there, just by standing nearby. So Nebu YSG definitely did a lot of impact there. Most of the fighting I did with XY Nevsky, I just brought out the Nebu YSGs there towards the end, and you can see some just amazing reports trade-wise. I mean, this 10-to-1 trades here for T5, and then some AoE damage. Just the Nevsky or the XY Nevsky march is just so strong. Okay, that one was slightly losing for me. Here's another very good one, 4-to-1 against a player with some pretty high troop buffs. He's got XY Nevsky as well. Obviously, his XY is the one that's expertised. And let's see what he has. He's got quite a bit cav attack. He's got 16% more cav attack. I have quite a bit more defense, but he did have more cav health than mine. So sort of an interesting matchup there. But again, we traded pretty heavily positive on that one. Again, very positive here against archers. I mean, that's just crazy. 500 to 12,000. Just this. I mean, zero. That's just AoE right there. Just 4,000 AoE. XY Nevsky, very powerful. I mean, here's holy cow. Like, okay, so that's T4, but nonetheless, I mean, 3,000 to 87,000 sevs is just crazy trades there. Let's see if there's anything else in this one. There's more AoE. Which is just free kills when you're not taking anything and your opponent is taking all the damage. Yeah, I mean there's a few more here and there, little small reports like this one. I don't know why I have so many. I think those are actually older reports. Yeah, those are older from different fighting. But if we go over to the report screen, we can just I can just pick some sort of random reports. This is Nebu YSG. Tried to save some of the bigger ones, but I didn't get to look at all of them. Here's another Nebu YSG where apparently I was taking some AoE. This is one where this player was actually coming around to fight on the side. Instead of fighting in the ruins, was trying to fight near the pass, like troops coming in and out of the pass, and had hardly anything left in his march, so got beat pretty badly. Here's another longer version of that fight where you can see early on I wasn't, I was just getting hit and I wasn't fighting back. But once I started fighting back, it turned pretty quickly in my favor, as you can see there with Nebu YSG. Let's see what else we have. Here's some XY Nevskys. I mean, just these are kind of just crazy, right? So even the main report, 741 to 5,800. Very, very strong. And I think I showed in the video, but in case I didn't, I'll show it here. I think I showed in the video the tech that I'm at. I'm pretty close to what we would consider max tech, or pretty close to max fighting tech. So we've got all of that tier tech down there. Attack formation up to level 10, giving us another 12% attack. All of those maxed. Our swift marching is maxed, so we've got a little bit more movement speed. We've maxed all of this econ tech. We've got an extra 15% troop capacity. We've got a full max tech, for another 15% from each of those. Working on this one right now. This is sort of the log jam because you can't go to this. You can't get swift marching up to level 10. Until you finish that. That'll give me another 4% march speed. And the reason to do that is because you can't get marching orders up to level 10 until you finish the swift marching. I'm not rallying anything, so there's no point in putting stuff into marching orders right now. But we've maxed out special medicine, 15% reduction in our healing cost. We've also pushed this up as high as we can until we get, so that's what I mean by this sort of log jam here. Once I get through improved projectiles, we can get the marching maxed. Then we can max our rally capacity. Then we can max this one. This one here is an interesting one. It costs a lot of crystals. I don't know if I'm really going to put a 6th march out there this KVK. We'll see. But that's kind of that's kind of one where it's a big investment, and it makes a lot of sense if you're going to have a 6th march. But if you're not going to have a 6th march, there's no real reason to invest in that. So we definitely want to get this one as maxed as we can. We want to get this one as maxed as we can. And then, of course, this one here, increasing all damage. Right now, we're up to 3.5%, but this goes pretty high, up to 10% all damage increase, which is crazy. And then, of course, that gives you a 7th march, and I definitely don't need a 7th march, so there's no real reason to invest in that. But as you can see, we're hard up for crystals right now. We're at 382K. Our crystal mine is moving pretty good. We're at 181.5% speed on that. So we've done well on those bastions, and we've done well well in terms of getting our crystal mine speed going, but still need some more crystals before we can max all of our tech. I think that's it for this video. A successful altar fight, a lot of fun. Unfortunately, it ended very quickly, but got some really good trades out of it. And next up is opening up into Zone 6, and the big Zone 6 fight will be coming pretty soon. So I'll have more content for you on that. So yeah, thanks everybody for coming by. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next one.